Well, fans, Black Tiger coming to you with some more wisdom. This time it's about when you should report on things. I'm just going to say first is worst, second is better. You got to go with that second day charm. There's a reason why people always have said first is worst. And this is why. Reports come out, and on day one, people jump on them. People jump on them, they assume they're true, they don't do the proper investigation to verify that what's being reported is true, and then comes the second day, and they are proved wrong, and they have to redact, retract, and apologize, and go back on their word. Which is why you shouldn't just blindly follow people, or really just follow people, at all. You should always follow the facts and follow the truth. So let's see what happened most recently that shows us why first is worst and second is better. So an article came out from Buzzfeed. Yeah, Buzzfeed. So I don't know why anyone believed it in the first place, because it's Buzzfeed. Buzzfeed is absolute garbage. They are not a legitimate media source or news outlet or journalistic enterprise. They're just a bunch of hacks that write clickbait articles and make clickbait videos about nonsense. Like when the Try Guys did that testosterone test, and these, 30-year-old men found out that they have the testosterone levels of 70-year-old men. That's pretty pathetic. So anyways, this BuzzFeed news came out, as you can see here. It says, President Trump directed his attorney Michael Cohen to lie to Congress about the Moscow Tower project. So everyone that has Trump derangement syndrome and hates the president sees that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew Trump was as bad as I thought he was. We got him this time. Blumfer's done. Impeach, impeach. Yeah. And then day 2 rolls around, and we find out. Mueller devastates BuzzFeed bombshell, quote, bombshell scoop about Trump and obstruction of justice. In a rare statement from the Office of Special Counsel Robert Mueller, he issued a devastating blow to a report from BuzzFeed that many were hoping would lead to indictment and eventual impeachment of the president. Mueller said that the report was inaccurate, ending the debate over whether the blockbuster report would damage President Donald Trump. BuzzFeed's description of specific statements to the special counsel's office and characterization of documents and testimony obtained by this office regarding Michael Cohen's congressional testimony are not accurate. And everyone should have had their BS alarms go off, the red flags start flying, right when the BuzzFeed article said that their information came from 2 unnamed law enforcement officials. Sometimes they go with anonymous sources because they need to protect their identity. That's why they call them anonymous sources. But when there's no need to be protecting identity, you should just be able to instantly tell that they are lying. They are using the anonymous source as a scapegoat, more or less, to get away with passing lies to everybody. So that is our first instance of the first day curse. Let's move on to see what else happened just days later. There was a March for Life, and at the same time in D.C. there was also a Indigenous Peoples March. And this happened. CNN put out lies on the first day, with headlines like this saying, Teen in confrontation with Native American elder says he was trying to defuse the situation. And they wrote that in a confusing manner because the way that they wrote that sentence, it seems like the teen was saying that he was trying to defuse the situation, but if you read all the reporting on it, the Native American man says that he was, trying to defuse the situation. And right off the bat, you can tell that they're lying because it starts with this. A crowd of teenagers surrounded a Native American elder and other activists and appeared to mock them after Friday's Indigenous People March at the Lincoln Memorial. Videos of the confrontation show a smiling young man in a red Make America Great Again hat standing directly in front of the man who was playing a drum and chanting. Other kids could be seen laughing, jumping around, and seemingly making fun of the chants. Now let's break down everything that I just read there. A crowd of teenagers surrounded a Native American elder and other activists. Did they surround them? Only technically for the fact that they were standing in a group which was larger than the indigenous peoples group and were positioned all around them. But that's because the indigenous people, this Native American guy, Nathan Phillips, he chose to walk up to them. Now that more video has been exposed than the initial falsely portrayed clip that they purposely used to, get away with this lie and try to trick everyone with, you can clearly see that Nathan Phillips, the Native American man, he walked up to the kids, not the other way around. But the way that they write it, they want you to believe that it was the kids who came up and surrounded him and not the other way around. But the truth of the matter is that the kids were waiting for a bus in front of the Lincoln Memorial, standing on, the lower steps. It looked like they might have, took a picture at one point, and that's why they were standing like that on the steps, because it's a good photo opportunity. And he approached them. So that's the first lie. Now, appears to mock them? Yeah, they say appears to, because if they actually said, definitively mocked him, then they could be sued for libel if, it's actually not true that they were mocking him, because a lot of them, they really were not mocking him. And the ones that were mocking him, so what? Big deal. He came up to them and started beating a drum in their face. I think they have the right to mock him for that. Now, a smiling young man. Yeah, he's smiling because he's trying to stay positive in the face of this guy getting up in his face and beating a drum, seemingly harassing him. So, what does it matter he was smiling? So he was showing happiness. They're trying to make it out as if, he's just some smug jerk. Even Steven Crowder made the mistake of saying, douchey smile on his face. No, Steven, you're not helping with that. And why would you give the left that? Why would you give him an inch, man? You give him an inch, they take a mile. He is smiling because he's trying to be courteous and calm in the face of a man approaching him and beating a drum a mere foot away from his face. That's kind of, intense. That's a little confrontational, so you can reasonably understand the kid would be nervous about that. And, a lot of times when people are nervous, they just try to stand there calmly and smile so they don't visibly appear to be nervous, which is a sign of weakness. So, further past that, standing directly in front of the man. Well, yeah, he's standing directly in front of him because that's where he was standing when Nathan Phillips walked up to him. So again, all this language that they're using, trying to portray him as a villain, semi-factual, but the way that they write the sentences, it makes it seem like the kid is the villain and not the man who walked up to him and started beating a drum in his face. Other kids could be seen laughing, and I don't blame them because, that's what you do when you're nervous, and that's what you do when you don't know how else to react to a situation and you don't want to let it affect you negatively, so, you just laugh at it. Jumping around. Yeah, they were jumping around because the guy was playing a beat and they were singing to it, so, they were dancing to the beat. That's what people do to music. They dance to music. And seemingly make fun of the chants. Yeah, joining in, trying to imitate the song and sing along with them, that's not making fun of. That's imitation. And I thought that imitation was the sincerest form of flattery, but I suppose not to these wackadoos. And, drink some water there, stay hydrated. Let's see what happens. Who else put out some fake news? CBS News. Video shows teens in MAGA hats surrounding Native American veteran. But look at the screenshot they chose. They didn't really choose the correct screenshot to support their false narrative, because as you can clearly see, there is a group of indigenous tribal people from whatever one of the over 500 federally registered tribes that there are in America. So in my opinion, I think it's kind of disingenuous to just call them Native American or Indians because, like I said, there's 500 different tribes. They're not all the same. They all have different, cultural aspects to their specific tribes. Different, garbs, different customs, all that stuff. They don't all speak the same language, like a lot of their tribes have different languages. There's, Cherokee, there's Creek, there's a lot of different indigenous languages. They're not all the same. So anyways, you can clearly see that they're by themselves in their group from their march, and they are walking up to the boys to approach them. So at no point in time did the Covington Catholic High School boys go up to them. They were just standing in front of the Lincoln Memorial on the steps waiting for their bus. And here's another piece of fake news from Raw Story, another horrible, I don't even want to call them a news outlet because they're not. They're a garbage propaganda outlet. Look at their top bar. U.S. World Science Tech Media Trump. They have a whole entire section devoted to Trump because they have Trump derangement syndrome. They hate Trump, and it shows very painfully obviously so. And it says, Kentucky teens harassment of indigenous man qualified as the legal definition of assault, according to attorney who observed incident to CNN. I'm not going to read all of the text, but basically, one of the tribal people, who happens to be an attorney apparently, claims that, in his opinion, it can fit the definition of assault. But guess what? He's wrong. He's a bold-faced liar. It does not meet the definition of assault, and they were not harassing him. Assault is physical, where you actually attack a person, where you threaten them. I mean, actually, really, assault is the threat of violence, and then battery is the actual enactment of violence against a person. So if a person says, I'm going to kick your ass and beat the shit out of you, that's assault. And then if they actually punch you, that's battery. So there is a difference between the two. But yeah, fake news, lies, lies, lies. And let's check out another example of another lying outlet. Now, I'm showing the article in reverse just so I can segue into the next portion of the video that relates to this. But this is from Hip Hop News. Yeah, news. A terrible, terrible propaganda site for people that are brainwashed by the hip-hop entertainment industry. And they write, the resolve Phillips showed by not popping one of those schmucks upside the head was admirable. See Phillips' response to the incident below. So, they're saying, oh yeah, they should have popped one of those crackers in the head. Oh yeah. And that's pretty terrible. But at the bottom left, you can see they tagged this MAGA and racism. Racism? I think what was more racist was one of the indigenous peoples telling one of the boys to go back to Europe, as if he actually knows their ancestry. What if they're not European? There are more Caucasian people on the planet than just those that are in Europe. So that's pretty racist, but no, they're not going to talk about that. They're only going to falsely claim that, the white guys are being racist, because that's all part of their bullcrap race-baiting narrative that they constantly espouse. So let's see the top of the article here. And the headline, it's actually from Hip Hop Wired. I guess they don't have the audacity to even call themselves news. MAGA hat-wearing high school dipwads harass Native American Vietnam vet. And the thing about that, it appears that he isn't even a Vietnam veteran. Now, in my opinion, I don't give a shit if you're a Vietnam vet, because Vietnam vets were simply used as pawns by the military-industrial complex to go into Vietnam, drop a bunch of napalm, clear a whole bunch of forest lands into flatlands that they could then use to build factories for textile manufacturing and other purposes, for clothing, also so that they could regain a hold on the rubber market, which before that Japan had a monopoly on. So the Vietnam War was not about helping Vietnam or saving the Vietnamese people or staving off communism. Those are all propaganda lies that they lie to you about to get you to go along with the U.S. military-industrial complex. The truth of the matter is that it was done for business interests so that they could export their labor to Vietnam and not have to pay workers as much, so that they could, pay people less and then sell their products back here in America for more money, thus increasing their profits. That's why when you look on the tag for a lot of your clothing, it'll say made in Vietnam. It'll also say made in Malaysia, made in China, made in Honduras, made in Mexico, but a lot of our clothing comes from Vietnam. And that was why the Vietnam War happened. That's why the U.S. entered that conflict, so that we could gain more favorable business conditions for the businesses that are connected to the military-industrial complex. Now, right under that headline, it says, the MAGA is the new pointy white hood. They're trying to say that anyone that wears a Make America Great Again hat or that supports Donald Trump is a Ku Klux Klan member. That is absolutely untrue and insane. The most racially divisive bullshit that I've ever seen from these race-baiting liars. And let's see who else supported that line. Alyssa Milano, a terrible hack that's involved in the Illuminati Hollywood garbage system. She said, the red MAGA hat is the new white hood. But, oh wait, what's this? A picture of 8 black people, there's 9 technically, but only 8 of them wearing the hats, and they're all wearing Make America Great Again hats, and it's not an edited image, it's a real image. Oh man, it's like black people support Donald Trump too. So like, unless you want me to believe that all these black people are in the KKK and they want to murder black people, are you insane? The people that believe this bullshit are brainwashed. It is ridiculous. There are so many black Trump supporters. The notion that anyone wearing a Make America Great Again hat is a racist Ku Klux Klan member is insane. It is patently insane. And these racists should be ashamed of themselves for pushing racially divisive propaganda to brainwash people and to divide the country with. You absolute scumbags. And let's see what this type of propaganda leads to. Here's a tweet from Eric Abris. I don't know what it says about me, but I've truly lost the ability to articulate the hysterical rage, nausea, and heartache this makes me feel. See, look at how it's all about emotions with them. I just want these people to die. Simple as that. Every single one of them. And their parents. Oh wow. The no hate. Oh, we're against hate. We're all about love and tolerance and accepting people. Oh yeah. When they want everyone that doesn't agree with them to die, them and their parents. Okay, I don't believe you all. You are liars. You are hypocrites. You are full of shit. You just parade under the banner of no hate so that you can trick people into thinking that's what you actually believe. But the reality is that you are the most hateful ones, and everything that you do is just projection. Whenever they say, oh, you're racist, they're projecting their racism onto you. Whenever they say, oh, you're just hateful, they're projecting their hate onto you. They are freaking overhead projectors, so never believe a word they say. If they're against hate and they're for women, then why do they support abortion that murders unborn women in the womb? They are liars. They are scumbags. So here's another tweet from one Uncle Shoes. I'm sure that's his real name. Fire on the MAGA cocksuckers on site. Wow, cocksuckers, really? I thought that you guys were against using homophobic slurs. Isn't that wrong to use, giving male-on-male fellatio as a disparagement, as an insult, as an ad hominem attack? I thought that was homophobic and that you guys were against homophobia. Well, I guess they're hypocrites once again. They always prove how hypocritical they are and how big of liars they are. So let's see another tweet. These just keep on getting worse. This is from Mac. Apparently his account name is It's Aaron, A school shooting at Covington would be acceptable. Wow. This guy's actually calling for a school shooting at the kid's school. I don't know how much more sick and depraved you can get than that. But I'm sure we'll find more examples. So let's move on to the next one from Anna Marion. This is unbearable. Put these fucking kids in a shark tank. Wow. This woman wants these boys to be ripped apart by sharks. That is evil. You people are evil. That's literally what Dr. Evil from Austin Powers would want to happen. Ooh, we're gonna put them in a tank with sharks with lasers on their heads. My goodness. And last but not least, a now deleted tweet and a locked Twitter account set to private so that no one can see his deplorable tweets anymore from a Disney hired director, Jack Morrissey. Hashtag MAGA kids go screaming. Hats first into the wood chipper. He is espousing views that he hopes that these kids get pushed into wood chippers while they're still alive and brutally and most grisly murdered in a sick and disgusting, horrific manner. That's absolutely disgusting, and the picture that he includes with it is absolutely disgusting. These people are sick. They are sick in the head, they are deranged, they are lunatics, and they are dangerous. If you have watched footage from protests and all these events in rallies and stuff, you can see so many hours of footage now of people that support Donald Trump being flat out attacked and almost murdered. There was Eric Clanton, the professor that hit a man on the head with a bike lock, one of those U-shaped bike locks. That's attempted murder. He could have killed that man hitting him in the head like that. He made him bleed very bad. He could have hemorrhaged. You know, that could have been a killing blow. If you hit a person in the head with a hammer hard enough, you're killing them. So the notion that these people are peaceful or tolerant or accepting or against hate and violence is so untrue. It's preposterous. It's retarded. They are the most hateful people on the face of the planet. It is insane. And there's also, the footage of that man in Texas that's, like 10, 15 years older than these kids sitting at a table, grabs the kid's drink, throws it right in his face, steals his MAGA hat, tells him that he's a fucking piece of shit and all this crap. Footage from that one rally where a woman had people throwing eggs at her face. The shell could have hit her in the eye and scratched her cornea. Like, for real, I'm not joking, that actually happens. I've seen it happen at a camp once when people were just randomly throwing eggs in the air without any regard as to who they may hit, and a person got hurt because it hit them in the face and scratched their eye. So, yeah, the people on the left, they're insane, they are violent, and they are dangerous. So never trust the mainstream media. Just never trust them. Whenever they put out any reports, especially reports that blatantly appear to be pushing a narrative, look into it. Do investigation. Wait a day, or maybe even two sometimes, to see whether or not there is veracity to the claims that they have made in their reports. Because that's the thing about reporting. If they claim that they're just reporting something, then they're not saying that what they're saying is true. They're just reporting something. We're reporting that 50 people died today. Oh wow, 50 people actually died? Well, we're not sure, but we're reporting that. That's why they use the explicit language and the specific phrasings that they do, so they can get away with saying what they're saying, but not actually having to have it be true or stand behind their words. It's like they're weaseling out of ever having to do legitimate, just straight and honest reporting, or factual journalism. So there you have it. That's why you guys always got to know: first is worst, second is better. Always wait for that second day charm, and the truth should come to light. And if not, maybe just wait until the third day, because third time's a charm. That's the phrase there. In all reality, even though second is better and first is worse, third time's a charm. So, alright guys, this has been another Black Tiger Reports. Don't let the mainstream media get your head twisted. Don't fall for the propaganda and lies. And do not believe the hate-mongering, race-baiting, intolerant, violent left fool you with their propaganda and lies and any notions that they are what they say they are. Because again, they are just projectors. They call you racist because they are racist. They call you hate mongers because they are hate mongers. So, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And please pop over to the Patreon, and you can throw me $1. You can throw me $1. If not every month, you can just throw me $1, this year or so. Once again, like, share, subscribe, and keep me running. Donate to that Patreon. Put some gas in my tank. Black Tiger, peace out.